watch it, it's gonna get a great value. It's gonna
Right.
a great hit, like in the straight in the heart. So this is
Hmm.
what I've been taught, that that they're gonna get a great value. And what I've been
Hmm.
saying, Julie, is that what we've been talking, we just started talking about, is that resistance that I feel. And you know what? Believe it or not, at the morning I knew it. We're gonna have a chat, and I was thinking, I was checking within myself. Okay, am I gonna create an environment of anxiety again for myself by listening to all the ideas that I'm not good enough and I have to put up the show or anything like that? Or am I gonna be able just to hold the space for what it is? And the thing that came to my head was, ask Julie about resistance. I really
Hmm.
want to know what Julie will say about resistance. And I opened your YouTube channel, Love's Beginning, and when I was doing when I was getting ready, putting up clothes and all that stuff, and I started listening to your videos just in case I would hear something about resistance. I hear a bunch of other good stuff, but not resistance, which it means that
Ah,
I
okay.
meant to ask you about it.
Well, you're my teacher, right? So you're asking me what I'm really working on right now, or I can't even say really working on. It's like this allowing what
Mm,
all of us are to flow through us individually without trying to control it.
yeah.
And the trying to control, like knee-jerk reaction, is so, it feels, I would say it feels so natural. But I think the good news is that it doesn't feel natural anymore.
Mm,
It's that trying to control knee-jerk reaction is the reason for every tiny little moment of uncertainty or anxiety or disquiet I feel during the day. And why do I receive so many messages about how to meet these states is because my day has plenty of examples of them. So I'm just receiving the messages that help me understand why it's happening and help me meet it. And then I feel very joyful because I don't feel helpless, I feel very helped. And so what I'm getting help with is every time, it's there's a willingness to feel that I had to develop, a
okay.
willingness to make what I'm feeling
So
the
not running
most.
away. You mean not running away from what's going on within you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when I busy myself trying to control something, I'm kind of stuffing down what I'm feeling.
Mm,
Instead of, I have to have the patience, I'm developing the patience to acknowledge I'm feeling something, allow that thinking to be swept away. I still have old patterns. I think of the laundry, like the laundry is the monster I tackle and I am triumphant, except lately I'm never triumphant on Mountain Laundry. Never.
mm,
Like, and it's my lesson right now that
mm,
even something like this that you think you control, or you think you should control, you
yeah.
think you should do it good enough, well enough, you think you should provide the clothes to the family
Mm,
in a timely fashion. There can be a lot of guilt tied up in how we view our functioning as humans, and how we think we should be performing, what we think we should be delivering to people, doing for people. And I can see, it's like I've let so much other thinking go. This is where the laser beam is now, like the daily ordinary functioning and
mm,
all the warped thinking that's still woven into it, and letting it go. But that's hard because it's still tangled up. This is just where resistance is active, in my daily experience right now. It's still tangled up with, but I have to do nice things for people. But I have to be kind and nice to people. But I have to
yeah.
show up for people.
Yeah.
But I have to take care of my children. This is where the separate I is still trying to step forward and say, without me, your kids aren't going to be happy, or things aren't going to go well, or and it's like the waves that are coming through are saying, listen, that me was never real, and it's time to just
Let it go.
let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I so identify with that, because the biggest, that's why I always made myself so busy, Julie, right? So
Hmm.
busy running from, I don't remember when it was, 8 months ago, 11 months ago. I remember coming back home from work, finding first time maybe in 2 weeks, 5 minutes to sit down. And by the way, I have no husband, I have no kids, I have
I know.
home, I have work, and I have bunch of responsibilities and things that I signed up for after work, right? Whether it's online or face to face. And I'm like, why I don't have time for myself? Why I have this life where I'm constantly from one thing to another, constantly barely finishing my hair, running straight away there. And
Right.
then the question came, who created that life?
Mm-hmm.
Straight answer, me. And okay,
Yeah.
so why did I create that life like that? And the reason is because I'm running away from myself, because I'm running away from facing what is it over there, running away
Mm-hmm.
from this, exactly what you described, this guidelines. Women should be welcoming and all that, right? That means guidelines, right? Women
Yeah.
should be always welcoming and open, always smiley and all of that stuff. Okay, what if I am on my period and I feel really crappy and I don't want to
Yeah.
smile? So this is the day that I should run away from people, right? Sorry, I'm so sorry about the sound.
Oh,
Yes.
that's okay.
Yeah, and so there is plenty of these guidelines, and when I meet this person, because of our past, I should be this way and that way, and when I am at work I should wear this clothes, but when I'm home I should wear this clothes. And I'm like, no, I hate jeans and I hate bras now. I don't like that stuff any longer. I don't want to wear them. I don't want, and all that stuff comes up, and but there was so much resistance coming up against, and so much of our energy was going to fighting that stuff. But when you say about these waves and letting them come and go as an observer, and that helps me a lot. That helps me a lot. That's why the stuff you talk about and the way you talk about it works for me so well, because this is huge big part of my, let's say medicine, because of that thinking patterns, right? This is what I hear from you, from your channel, from our calls. This is what I learn about the healthy way of thinking, the way that it makes me feel at ease, the way it helps me let go of stuff and make things simple instead of, complicated atomic, bomb and all that stuff.
That guy like that. Yeah, and we can feel the difference.
Yeah.
We can feel the difference. And the most helpful thing for me that I remember most of the time, but not all the time, is that it's always my own thinking. It is never anything out there.
Mhm.
It's never a defect in this self, in like this separate self not being good enough, or some other separate self not being good enough. It's never a perceived defect in the appearance of this self, or
Mhm.
the age of this self, or the actions of this self. It's never, ever, ever that. I feel like we just keep drilling down into realizing that it is always, but always my own thinking, my own perspective. And thank goodness it's so simple.
Mhm.
But it's funny, I have a commenter on my page, and lately when I've posted, you know how I post my messages,
Mhm.
it seems like a good thing. I'm trying to analyze it, and analysis is useless, I'm pretty sure. So irony, but I'm thinking, well, it's a message that came to me. It seems to be very helpful for me, and there's a way I can share it. And when I take the clock time to share it, it seems to keep me immersed in the awareness of that, and that peace, and it seems to give me a baseline for the day. But there are egoic pitfalls, like, I'm the sharer of this message, I'm this instead of that. Or like, give me more, give me comments, give me likes, more. What is this more monster? Like, that monster is real, right? But I have a commenter who will come on my page every single day and tell me how wrong I am, but not personally, from a spiritual perspective.
Mhm.
This is false, this is false, look to see what is real. Look through, I can't remember. My apologies to the commenter for forgetting her words. But so I thought I could unfriend this person,
Mhm.
but it doesn't feel right. But
Okay.
then there's also an egoic person or part of me that is like, no, I am open and peaceful enough. I will let her stay and we will come to peace together. And you know, and now I'm like, I can see that operating. It's not this, it's not that. I think there's some maybe Eastern tradition that says not this, not that, not. And then you see the light because you see everything it's not, right? So I've decided to just let this commenting keep happening. And then I also think, geez, maybe the messages aren't helpful. Maybe I've been trying to control. Maybe it's the completely wrong direction. But it's in that not knowing. It's in that not knowing. Uncertainty can get us there. That that leaves me open to letting those old patterns go and letting something new come in and letting things be transformed. And in this moment, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I don't know how it's going to look. So that's, you know, that's like a favor to me.
Well, the way I see it, and the message that I got straight away is that, because straight away, you know, it's like you mentioned the different ego characters, right? That they are popping. No, you are spiritual, you know, in the sky, you can deal with it, you know, you are a nice person, you're totally zen, you don't mind that stuff. But the truth
I'm
right outside would be like boiling, like, how dare you every single day waste your energy, planet's energy on negativity and all that stuff. But I totally get you, and I cannot imagine fully how would I be in that situation, because we can only experience that stuff when we are there, and we all experience things in a different way. But the most important thing came to me is that because it took me back, when you were sharing that so beautifully with me, it took me back to the moments when I was questioning everything I was doing, and I was putting so much energy into it. You see, the thing that my team told me recently is that you've got to keep on sharing. Don't overshare. They told me, don't overshare, because you don't have all the time in the world yet. But they told me keep on sharing, even if you literally see and feel your own ego being there in between. Beautiful message.
Because that'll get washed out. It'll get washed out.
They told me to entirely get rid of my own judgment towards myself, and just look at the effort that it comes from a place of pure love and light, pure heart, that space here. So even if there is an ego in that message, even if someone might see on the picture, oh, she wants to be told that she's pretty or whatever, it doesn't matter. It absolutely, I could not care less now, because of the amount of time that I trained myself to just remember one thing and always go back to one truth. Why did I post it? Why did I post it in the first place? Because the message came to me from a higher vibration. Because I felt so filled with love and light, and that message had to be there. Or because I felt someone is suffering, and I knew it, at least one person is going to benefit from it. So that person, it's just entirely going to reconnect you with your why, Julie. Because you're doing something beautiful and amazing on your channels, on your platforms. You're doing that in your own unique way. Julie, you could do what anyone else is doing. Let me listen to the technique. Let me buy $4,000 course, and let them tell me how to be me, right?
That's funny,
How do you get people? Because this is what I've done. This is what I've done. This is a part of this person's journey. And after a few months, I'm like, I want to jump out of my skin to be someone else, you know? And they tell me only when I'm me, I can do that. So how can you tell me constantly, you know? So blah, blah, blah. I think that when you're really starting to question, you don't question that from a place of doubt. You question in a constructive way, because you really want to provide the best. Your heart is pure, Julie. But I truly believe it's going to reconnect you even stronger with your why, because you're very unique and original. And this is what this world needs. We have so many Kim Kardashians. We have so many other people who want to be like other people, and they run away from themselves. And I truly believe people like you and me bring this uniqueness. I want to be me. I'm messed up. There you go. That's my cracks. That's my calls. I'm not afraid to, you know, share them whenever whenever someone is going to benefit from them. That's why I share that stuff, not to relieve it, but someone can benefit from it. But I truly believe it's only going to reconnect you with your why, with your truth. and yeah, and you know what, it's
I like how you say that.
people.
I like how you say that, your why.
Yeah, because
I like
every time would be, okay, so why am I doing it? Why am I sitting here and now with you, right? Am I trying to prove something to someone or myself?
Right.
Or I'm just simply want to learn, or I just simply want to share energy. And
Right.
it's all learning process,
There's an open-heartedness, and we can trust the open-heartedness.
Yeah.
And it's when I think I see closed-heartedness in somebody else, like the commenter, that it hurts my heart. When I'm done feeling abused or irritated or whatever, it hurts my heart that I'm looking out and seeing somebody like that in my world, and I know I'm misconstruing who that one is. I know that so deeply right now. Like
Yeah.
I almost want to cry with it.
Yeah.
Even when I think of somebody who's selling a course for $4,000 or somebody who's a celebrity, like I know the self they are is the self I am. And I feel like there's that homesickness there,
Oh.
like let's take our costumes off and remember how perfectly okay everybody is without exception. But you know what? They're the daily lessons. And
Yeah.
whenever Om is my commenter, comes on my page, I'm like, damn it, shit, I'm gonna feel irritation. I don't want to read that comment. And then I won't read it for a while. And then, I'll think of various things and I won't know if it's guidance or not because I'm not in the right headspace. Like, just don't say anything to Om. Just don't feed the energy. But then later I'll respond. It's a school for me. It's really my school right now. And right now it's kind of a means for exposing the thinking that's going on. Being like, look, because I feel like Om's okay hearing me say what my thoughts have been, and recognizing that they're ego's thoughts, they're not true, and exposing that, and so when thoughts are in the light, in my experience, they melt, they dissolve, they lose their charge. So that's what I've been doing more of, just saying, well, I read this, here's the egoic thought that's like really pinging and claiming to be true, so there it is.
Yeah. I totally get you. And the same as this, and I really appreciate when you said about us being one in the same way, someone who is selling that $4,000 thing. And, I remember myself being in such a deep resentment, with that. I'm the one who signed up for it, yet I'm presenting the person who gave it to me. Give it to me, because that was a part of me that still needed healing and still needed to see it. And it came the time that I had to do the forgiveness bit, not just for this person, for myself as well, not just once, Julie, over and over again, over and over again. And it came to a point of just purely letting go. But it took me a while. And the same with Kim Kardashian. If I wouldn't be ever wanted like someone else, not Kim, maybe someone else, it doesn't even matter who, I wouldn't ever be aware that, okay, I'm actually running away from myself, I'm actually running away from myself, from who I am, what I think and what I feel. And you mentioned, right before I started yapping, you mentioned about, about that process. So there is a process that if you don't feel comfortable with sharing, that's okay, that's fine. Okay. But I remember you were sharing that on one of your posts. And I was going through a process of huge big waves of these feelings and emotion and this resistance and this madness and running and thinking and feeling and overcoming and being there. I read this post and it was just like a huge big church gong, ding, time to wake up, get peaceful. And you were mentioning in that process how to recognize the faulty thought, replace it with the real one, and what happens there. But you would be the best to explain it. Would you be willing to share that? And I'm sure the bunch of people here will be benefiting from it.
Yeah. And just so I make it clear, I don't think I'm trying to demote myself when I say this, but the reason I receive these messages is because there are so many moments when I'm in states that don't feel good to me. So every day it's like my non-physical friends sit down with me and say, okay, here, just feel, look, understand, recognize, and here's what you can do today. More important than doing the laundry. Here's what you can do today. So that's the vein in which I receive and share the messages. It's not like I know and you guys got to know because you don't know. Like, I'm getting help.
And
So
this is exactly, I'm sorry for hopping in, but this is
oh no, go
exactly
ahead.
what I mentioned the last time we were talking. You always share it from your own life, how you're dealing with that crap on a daily basis. And I'm exactly the same as you. The thing is, Julie, if someone wants to only see us, those who share that message as that, oh, we're above anyone, it's gonna see the things this way because this is the vibration that they are on. You and I were perfectly clear. This is the crap we're dealing on nearly every single day basis, and we're not hiding it. We're not shying away from it yet, because our focus is so much on overcoming, not staying in the crap, but working
Right.
on it and coming to a better realization, coming to a better version of ourselves. That's where most of the energy goes. Because
Mm-hmm.
we're not stuck on staying in the crap. Okay, poor me,
Right.
right? Poor me. Poor me.
Yeah.
Can I please get, poor me. So
Yeah.
so focused on working through it. We are so
Yeah.
focused, what can I learn from it? That's why so much of our energy goes there. And someone who isn't maybe trying to listen the full message is gonna only hear selectively their own capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so the process. So the first thing is a feeling, to be willing to acknowledge how I'm feeling. And the comedy of my life is every time I think I've got this, well, the I who thinks I've got this doesn't exist. Is out of the flow, because a flow doesn't really have an I, like a separate I.
Mm.
Um, then something will come to make me realize, holy shit, I don't got this. Like, there's a whole nother other deeper
Mm.
layer where I'm so attached to old thinking and I had no idea. But the relief of letting that layer go is just, oh my gosh, that's what builds our trust and faith to keep going through that forest.
Mm.
Like, this is good. When I let go, it's definitely good. So I'll keep going. So first there's a feeling. If I have a feeling during my day of irritation, let's say child climbing on me, that is one I have not. That's one that gets to me still. Child climbing on me, I feel my hair pulled. I feel uncomfortable. I feel invaded. I feel, there are other times holding child, happiness, peace, don't feel invaded. But child climbing on me, my hair getting pulled, there's the feeling. Okay, so the thinking is pretty much I am under attack. I am under attack. And then I can see in every other moment during the day when I feel irritation or when I want to judge somebody, that there's the same feeling. It's a defensiveness. I am under attack and I need to defend myself. And this is the like the layer of illusion that I myself have placed on top of the flow that carries me. The reality is that the flow of love and light carries me and carries everybody always. But I have chosen to perceive something else instead. And this is the something else I'm perceiving. So I've identified this thought. I am under attack. And I might need to do that half an hour later after I've been like, get off of mama. Okay. I handle it in the physical. And then later, though, I remember that intense feeling of irritation and I really want to do something about it. So I look at the feeling and the thinking and I realize how it applies to every other situation. Like, one situation is every situation. So I'm just going through it, and then I think I can see this thought is not serving me in any way. But ego believes I am under attack or I'm going to be under attack is the reason for its defenses, and that it needs to keep its defenses, and that its defenses will keep it safe. Really, the defenses of the Julie make me miserable. They bring on the experience of misery. And I can see that now. It's very stark compared to how it used to be. Very clear. So then I can say, this thought, I am under attack in all ways, shapes, and forms. I am now willing to have it lifted out of my life. I'm now willing to have it swept away.
Mm.
And so, you know, you ask, you get. And so then sometimes you walk through life and figure out how profoundly irritated you've been with very many things in ways you have not acknowledged to yourself. And so I'm coming to see the covering up I do to avoid seeing that I'm profoundly irritated. Sometimes it could be, it's funny, like the deceptive forms it takes, like almost like pity. Well, oh, I'm sorry, those people over there are so sad about other people not wearing masks.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm so sorry those people over there are so upset about people wearing masks, you know, because I'm all right, but they aren't, and I feel bad for them.
So funny.
So it's that, so total mind trick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm projecting. I'm seeing it out there, so I don't have to face it and
Yep.
allow it
Yep.
to heal.
Yep. Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. His problem is this and that. How am I
Yeah.
dealing with it? Jesus, this is what I have to deal with it. This is the only thing you ever have to deal with. This is so good. And it's funny when you say that, Julie, when for you is that it brings you misery. Other people that I've spoken to about that stuff in the past, it brings them anger or frustration. And for me, it brings like a deep sadness and making myself a victim. Like always, like, how can I make myself victim out of this situation?
Yes.
Mm.
Ego's favorite hit. You know, you are victim or somebody else is victim. Doesn't matter who.
Yeah.
If I'm seeing somebody as a victim, the ego identity is satisfied.
Yeah.
And what I've discovered is the ego identity is not capable of happiness. Whoa, I'm getting like the chills on this one. So this must be my really big lesson that's flowing through my life. The ego identity doesn't know happiness and is not capable of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
But what we all are, that is joy and happiness. And there's no knowing of it or recognize, it just is, right? So if we allow what just is, then we allow all this egoic thinking to be swept away. Nobody needs to be satisfied by anything, because if you're joy, nothing needs to fill a need. Yeah, you don't have any. And it's difficult to show up in this world because of course there are so many perceived needs. Give me food, now give me more food. Now give me salty food, now give me sweet food. Give me money, now give me more money. Now fill up my day with amusing activities. You know, what a challenge to show up here and to realize we don't actually have any needs. But that's where we're taken with it eventually. Yeah.
On that journey. And you were mentioning about when you will recognize, you know, that feeling, when we recognize that, okay, there is something, you know, something on process there, something unpleasant. How do you swap that? By surrendering? This is how you do it, by surrendering in this present moment. And okay, what is the truth that it is, you know, underlying under that false belief somewhere there?
It came to me in such a funny way. I grew up enjoying swearing. So to anybody who's scared of swear words, I apologize for the way I'm about to put this. But to me, they're very innocent words. So to me, the way it just became so clear to me to follow the path of having my own thinking put straight as much as I possibly could is that I'm fucking sick and tired of not feeling good. I'm fucking sick and tired of it. And I know that. So I'm willing to get real here. Yeah. You know, but I'm not, as I say that, I must not be done. There's something in me that still feels gratified by getting pissed off about something or by trying to project it out there on a world situation or another person. You know, that's still operating, but I can see it now. I can be like, oh, I see you, little monster. Okay. I'm going to sit down. Be honest about the thinking. Let's get into the washing machine and allow the new realization to come. And then of course the proof is there. You feel good. You feel loved, right? You feel loved. You feel at peace. You
Mm.
feel supported when you get to that place temporarily, right?
Yeah.
Because
Everything is temporary, right?
they're back into the fray. So, you know, the egoic perspective that's occurring to me right now is like, we need more honesty about this, because we can't show up and pretend to be peaceful when that's not our second by second honest experience.
Yeah.
That's not going to help anybody. But there's still ego in that perspective. So I'm willing to have that swept clean, because then I'm perceiving, oh no, I'm trying to be real honest. So that one over there, not honest. Me, I'm honest. Like, no, that's bull crap. That's complete bull crap.
Yeah.
And that is what I want. I'm willing to have that washed out.
Yeah, you know what, Julie, you talk about that stuff so beautifully because it comes from the heart, and it's open and honest, and that's why I appreciate that so much, because we've mentioned that already before on that recording. Majority of my life I spent running away from it, running away from the truth. And the truth, you know, first for me starts with acknowledging, okay, I'm full of shit, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just lying to myself and everyone around me all the time that everything is okay. What is it under, right? Because before we will get, you know, to the truth, okay, what is the real issue that I'm facing right now at this particular moment? What kind of memory or experience or trauma is that connected, you know, from my past? I have to first go through all the layers of, no, you cannot tell that to them. You cannot show up this way, right? No, what they will think of you if you will say that. No, that's not true. That's not true. It's just you just picked it up from whatever. So you have to go through all these layers, you know. And the thing that I work on at the moment, it's just the same as you saying work. It just doesn't feel right any longer that much, you know. Sometimes it is, but it doesn't feel like, okay, roll up my sleeves, okay, sorry, no phone calls, no messages, I'm working on myself, you know.
Yeah.
It's not like that anymore. It's a little bit more like, okay, I'm cleaning the bathroom, right, and I'm brushing the toilet, and I am all of a sudden becoming aware that I'm judging that person because they are up to my ego, right? Can you hear it already? Up to my ego, this person is still doing the stuff that I'm shifting away from.
Right.
Or they're still hurting themselves in my own eyes, right? Number one truth is, who am I to judge anyone? But this ego character is so loud and so strong. And the reason for it, Julie, is that because it's been practiced so much, because I've been judging myself for so many years. And it is my second nature to judge myself and judge others without me even being aware of it. So I'm brushing the toilet with bleach, and that's what I hear, you know, in my head. So this is the moment when okay, let me shift that attention, what's going on. And there are moments within the last few days that I'm like, no, enough. And the other times when, okay, let me pause and stop. Okay, what is the truth? The truth is, whoever anything else is thinking of doing is none of my business. Second of all, I've been told many times by my divine team, kindness changes everything. It's not my job any longer to tell anyone what they are doing wrong, right? Whether I'm right or wrong, it doesn't matter, because ego is based on right and wrong, good and bad, black and white. And fifth dimension, the new world that we are shifting into, or the peace of mind within, whichever way you want to call it, it's about being okay with what is. It's not about, you know, categorizing good and bad, right? Let's yeah, it's okay. Let's make it okay. Let's make it, or just is. Thank you for being here. This is feeding me. Thank you for giving me fun. You know, it's fun. This cards and deck is fun. So yeah, so I'm trying to learn that, but in the same way, I'm trying to not make this process a burden, Julie, because I've made a burden for so many years. And you know what is one of the biggest help for me this year is one thing that I learned from Nilesh, from working with Nilesh, and it is 3 affirmations. While I'm going through all that, I call it my shit comes to the surface, right?
Yes.
Feel it. So I taste it, so I smell it, and it's not fun, right? It's not fun.
Right.
So when it's literally shaken out of me to the surface, it's because I can deal with it, because I have the
Right.
tools, I have the energy, I
Yes.
have the willingness as well to deal
Mhm.
with it, face it, see it for what it is, and let it be. And by me giving a space, me giving a okayness without trying to change it, it shifts, eventually shifts.
Yes, it
Uh,
does.
uh,
The
uh,
proof is there, right? We have
right.
so many examples of proof that it does shift,
Yeah.
that faith builds. I think that's essential. Our faith builds, that we can get through it. And so when the deeper shit comes up and the deeper shit comes up and the next layer, every time it's like, holy shit, oh my God.
Yeah. Where is that gonna end? But nah. And one of the
Yeah.
things that I learned from Nilesh is just to keep on repeating one after another. When I have this willingness, I am open, I surrender, I allow it, and it's so powerful. It's so
Yeah.
powerful, like Ho'oponopono prayer. I
Oh,
am sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. It's so powerful. It's the simplicity, and it's so powerful. And another thing, Julie, is something I've been so scared of, but as well so attracted to, breath, just breath work.
oh, yeah.
I've actually had a free session because I went through 6 weeks period of the online course, which it was happening during the time when I had my hurt ankle and I was home. And I just had the breathwork session, like nearly every Saturday he's doing that breathwork, this guy. I've been called to make a video with him as well about that.
Oh, cool.
So I will try to get JP on that thing, and I know he's on holiday now or soon, but breathwork, huge help with dealing with these emotions and waves. It's a little bit like an internal cleanse. It's a little bit like you go to the beach, you go to the sea, and you feel this fresh breeze, and it just washed off all that stuff, or it helps you see it without panicking. So the same
The metaphor of the breath,
yeah.
that has been used with me a lot. Like you can go into source, and then source will give you what you need, then you can release what you don't need, or start with the exhale, release what you don't need, then go into source and allow source to inspire everything. And so that is such a powerful metaphor, the breath. And I think I use it throughout my day because I usually have a mantra of some sort. And lately for me, it's a lesson from A Course in Miracles. So today it's all things are lessons God would have me learn. Now the God word is still a kind of troublesome word for me. I'd rather substitute oneness or our true self or something. That's where I've still got some judgment going on. But the Course in Miracles is so very exactly what my non-physical friends tell me. Doesn't matter. Go ahead and use the word to which I'm still allergic. Go ahead. It's okay. But when I say that, when I stop to say it, it's like the breath always comes with it to do that washing out, to convince me, like the washing out can happen.
Yeah, and it's beautiful and it feels good because it's not just the hard work, it's not just the hard work. There is so much joy in between all that stuff that we do by working on ourselves. Some people like to call it, shadow work or whatever. Again, it's not about the name, but the power behind the name. And I've been shown a few years ago to each time I speak about the word God to anyone, just to give my own example. So when I came here to Scotland, so my name is Eliza, and anyone who is in UK is reading that name as Eliza. And
I did.
I'm very allergic to Eliza, right?
Yeah.
So if someone says Eliza, I all of a sudden feel twitch. But this is normal, right? Whoever is brought up in English speaking country is gonna read it and say Eliza, E-L-I-Z-A, Eliza, right? But where I come from, the name is spelled and pronounced Eliza, and it is spelled as well, L-I-Z-A, because it's different country, different culture, different blah, blah, blah. So when I came here about 16 years ago, I was called Eliza, I was called Elsie, I was called Lisa, I was called Lisa, Alicia, Elise, so many different names, yet they referring to the same person.
Right.
Same person. So the same is with God, you know. We can get, you know, allergic to the word, and that's okay as well. I'm letting myself be okay to being allergic to Eliza, but that's okay. But at the end of the day, it's about the power behind the name.
Yes.
And you know the power. You know that power. You know it lives through you all the time. You know that power.
It doesn't need a name. It doesn't need a name. I think that's why maybe in some religions, I'm not specifically clear on it at all, but you're not supposed to speak the name.
Ooh.
Right?
Well,
You're not supposed to speak the name of God. So I can relate to that. Like, it's much better if I don't put my dirty hands on it. So did you hear that perception? My dirty hands, but just to feel it and to appreciate it, you know?
Oh, that's beautiful. Julie, thank you so much. I'm going to finish recording. This is what we're going to leave it, people, with. Thank you, everyone, for watching. This recording is different, and that's how it's going to stay from now on. Just pure flow, no big show, because it doesn't work for me any longer. And we still open our hearts and give you the best. So if you've got any value whatsoever from this video, I would appreciate if you would go to Julie's channel and sign up for her channel, because the messages that flow through her every day are priceless. And if you are on your journey, that will help you a lot. So thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.